What's up, y'all? It's East Heaven. I'm up here on the mountain, San Diego, Mount Helix. It's a bit chilly, but I can see the city. The sun hasn't gone all the way down, and I'm grateful that I could be here. Lots of plants, lots of nature, good views, see the ocean and whatnot. Perks living in San Diego, I guess. I want to speak on reading the signs. We can read the signs. We can read the signs in whatever situation that we're given, wherever we're going. On our path or our journey, there are signs or markers. There are things that we can interpret in order to know what our best route is. And this is something that I'm guilty of. I've gotten caught up in reading too deeply into the signs, which is also a negative thing. You don't want too much or too little, because too much or too little is too much or too little of anything. We always want a balance and a harmony, because without that balance and harmony, without that correct setting, without that homeostasis, we can't have life. We can't give life to what we want to create. And life is given to imbalanced things, disproportionate types of things. Excess and too much or too little, two different types of negativities. Because having too much, being too abundant, can hinder growth as well. Reading the signs, though, on our path, we are on a path ultimately to where we want to be. We're on a path to our truest purpose and our highest self, basically. And that path is always expanding, always moving, always growing, because this is the nature of life. It never stops. It's always moving, it's always flowing, changing. But us being here on this level of existence, this slowed down level, where we can attribute meaning to various things, where the meaning of various things can be revealed to us. We're able to understand the signs that are being given to us and the meaning of the various things that we come across on our path. When we begin to understand where we're going and who we are, and when we begin to study our circumstances, situations, settings, and environments, the events, the people, the things in our life, when we study everything in our life, we're allowed to gain a bigger picture, a bird's eye view, a city view. But when we're able to get that picture, we can kind of understand what's behind appearances a little bit. And if we understand that time is sort of a fluid thing, we can link the past to the present and the future, and we can have one unified, harmonious whole. And we can see it that way. One thing I would like to mention, though, about reading the signs is that sometimes there will be tests. The sign will come to you. It might come very quick. You might not be able to make sense of it. You just have to do what you can, because that circumstance or situation is what's best for your growth. If you're already doing everything you can do and you can't see any signs, then it's most likely that you just got to keep doing what you're doing, or that you got to push harder and really dig deep inside yourself. However, reading the signs can be a priceless addition to the skills and techniques that we have. We can understand the intentions of others. We can understand where we need to be, where we need to move towards ultimately. We can understand our higher self. Signs can come in various forms and shapes. It can be animals, it can be clouds. You have people that read the clouds. You have cloud readers. I'm not sure the exact name, but there's a name for people who read clouds, a name for people who read palms, signs, right? There's a name for people who read the signs in things like tea leaves, divination. Some people say that every plant has its own meaning and character and nature, and that can be studied as well. The wider our scope is in our vision, and simultaneously narrow towards where we have to be, the more we can see and the more we can understand. There is such a thing as seeing too much, though. Seeing too much can be problematic as well, because in some situations, if we see too much, we won't know what to do with it. And so that somewhat transcendental knowledge becomes useless to the person who's wielding it, while maybe somebody else could make better use of the knowledge. This is important to ground ourselves in reality, to understand what the God, the Spirit, the universe is speaking to us, and where we're being guided. The most important part, though, is that in reading signs and choosing our direction and path, we stay true to who we are. We stay true to the principles and values underlying our outward appearance.